Thank you so much. How are you?
Great, thanks.
Good, great to have you.
Thanks.
So we're here discussing digital transformation, a subject that everyone in this room, I'm sure, is absolutely involved in. You cannot wake up without having something in your life turned digital. Before we get to digital transformation, I want to talk about the transformation of Thomas Kurian, because you've had a fascinating career. You were a longtime executive at Oracle, and then zap, 2018, you took the job at Google Cloud, which at the time was a smaller player in the cloud computing business. You've grown the business dramatically since then. It is a serious contender to the cloud offerings of others, Amazon, Microsoft. I wonder what you saw that the rest of us didn't when you decided to make that leap.
I saw two important things. First of all, that technology was becoming fundamental in every industry. As every industry became digital, whether it was a bank or a retailer or an energy producer or an electric utility, technology was becoming fundamental to every industry. And cloud computing promised to simplify technology so that everybody could have access to it. Every company could have access to it. So the combination of this need and this simplification, I thought, could deliver enormous promise and drive a lot of growth.
Interesting. Trust is such a critical word in digital transformation. How do you convince your customers that they can trust their business to Google Cloud?
Trust is really about a variety of things. You know, trust is trusting us to provide you, a company, with a platform for innovation, trusting us that we will be in all the locations around the world, for example, here in the Kingdom, bringing our technology to you where you need it, trusting us that we'll keep your data secure, trusting us not just with the platform we give you today, but all the promise of the innovation that we're going to deliver for you so that you can build upon it and transform your business. For us, trust is all those elements.
You mentioned you're here in the region. You're speaking to customers all the time, I know. In fact, I listened to a podcast where you talked about the fact that in the first 100 days or so, you met with hundreds and hundreds of customers. I wonder how the pandemic has changed the needs of those clients and how it's changed the needs of the workplace. What does that mean for your work?
You know, the pandemic accelerated enormously some trends which are already happening in different parts of the world. First of all, it made consumers incredibly familiar with technology. It made them order food online, experience many things online, work with their colleagues through video conferencing, talk to their doctor online. So it made consumers incredibly technology aware. It also made many CEOs look at their businesses and go, do I have the technology foundation so that when I emerge from the pandemic, I can take all the lessons I learned and to bring it forward. Banks, for example, started looking themselves and saying, how can I take all our expertise, the people in our branches, but through now digital media, bring them to consumers around the world. Retailers felt that e-commerce used to be one part of their business, but how do you now make it the core of your business? Healthcare clients who talk to us all the time about, I want to be somewhere where doctors and patients can talk continually, not just when they visit the hospital. So digitization helped companies understand the lessons from the pandemic and then bring them forward.
Interesting. What about education as well?
Well, you know, we've been very fortunate as Google in supporting hundreds of millions of children around the world to learn digitally during the pandemic. Our technology helped bring teachers and students through our virtual classrooms together. Today, as kids go back to school, they still take classes in the physical presence of the classroom, but they use assistance online to continue to learn after they've come home from school.
I wonder if you could give me some examples of what companies here in the Middle East are doing with and what they're learning from their data that they're processing through Google Cloud by analyzing it, using the AI. What are they learning? What are they doing?
So we've just 3 or 4 simple examples. We've done work with the Ministry of Water, Environment, and Agriculture right here in the Kingdom to help them understand, using a technology called Google Earth Engine and our cloud, the impact of climate change, particularly on the water supply. Second, we've helped a large e-commerce retailer, Noon.com, understand the buying behavior of consumers and being able to put in front of them, using our artificial intelligence tools, better products and services and better recommendations. For those who are going to Qatar to watch the World Cup next month, Oradura Group uses our voice technology and our artificial intelligence tools to scale their contact center so that millions who will be visiting the game can actually ask them questions to find the services, because many people will be coming to Qatar from different parts of the world. So these are just 3 simple examples in different companies, understanding the customer, understanding their data, understanding, for example, supply chain. Some of the large retailers now use our cloud along with data from their supply chain logistics systems to understand where will they have bottlenecks, how do they get the right product and service to the consumer when they need it.
I want to pick one of those examples you said, and what does it do in terms of some of the things that they measure, like their profits or their productivity or the speed at which they are able to make decisions and flip if something that they've tried doesn't work?
It used to take some companies days to schedule and understand their position on inventory. They can now do it in seconds, in real time. It used to take people weeks to schedule a complex bill of materials. It now takes them less than a few minutes. The faster you can see information, the faster you can make decisions. The faster you can make decisions, the faster you have competitive advantage.
So one of the topics that no one really wants to talk about, but everybody worries about, is cybercrime. And it costs the world hundreds of billions of dollars every year, estimated to be $10 trillion by 2025. How does cloud computing help keep companies safe?
So, cybercrime, as the value of data has grown, and as every industry becomes digital, cyber criminals find it super easy to access and steal data and then hold companies to ransom. So why is that occurring? In almost every cybercrime incident that occurs is a black swan event. The organization thought it was secure, the crime happened, and then they realized that they had a door open. So what we believe is the solution to it. Number one, simplify security. A lot of the reasons that cybercrime criminals are able to get in is that cybersecurity is too complicated to implement. Number two, build in security into the platforms rather than trying to bolt it on. And number three, provide the best tools and technology to allow people to detect and respond to cyber incidents as quickly as possible. So we're helping many different organizations, from financial institutions, payment systems, telecommunications networks, to stay secure using all that Google has learned and all the technology that Google has invented to keep our own services secure.
And I want to ask you about sustainability. You mentioned your work with the Kingdom, with the Department for Water. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about how other companies might be using the cloud in order to advance sustainable goals. What are they doing?
So sustainability, the one important element is the more accurately you can measure, the faster that people are able to then make decisions to improve their sustainability posture. So with the work that we did with the ministry was also with the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science. And they used our tools to understand the data so that they could make decisions much more quickly. We've helped many other organizations. A big project we did last year in Europe was with Unilever to understand how the products that they were sourcing in order to make sustainable products for consumers, the food products, the oil that they were sourcing was sourced in a sustainable way. And again, it comes back to understanding all of the data in your supply chain so that you can then deliver products, manufacture them, and distribute them in a sustainable way.
I wonder if you could talk about, cloud computing is a $200 billion market, and 2/3 of that is held by these three big American companies, Amazon, Microsoft, Google Cloud. Big American tech companies are getting a bit of pushback in the world. I wonder what global responsibilities come from holding that position.
The important responsibilities we take is, if you think about the consumer, the device that made computation accessible to every person in the world was really the smartphone, because it made a phone, a camera, a personal computer, and an internet browser simplified and cheap so that it could be in everybody's pocket all the time. Our responsibility as cloud providers is to make sure every organization, from a small entrepreneur to a small business to a large enterprise or government agency, has access to the same technology that powers our services. Secondly, we want to bring it to every part of the world so there are no haves and have-nots. And bringing it, not only are we doing that right here in the kingdom by bringing our cloud region here, but we're also investing in technology training, bringing digital skills so that people can learn how to use the technology.
Thank you so much, Thomas Kurian. Let's give him a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.